Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence.
Right now on HHS In Depth. With the end of semester 1 here, reporter Ashton Ackman sat down with Principal Dr. Ginder to get a look back at the first half of the year.
You'll get caught up on Homestead's cell phone policy and potential penalties for violations of these policies in a report by Roland McMillan.
And reporter Mackenzie Butts will bring you a story over the Mini Air Force, the Civil Air Patrol, and how Homestead students are learning about the military while still in high school.
Those stories and more, plus a look back at the past week of sports in the Locker Report. HHS In Depth starts right now.
The end of the semester concludes tomorrow. Hello everyone, I'm Jenna Lane.
And I'm Drew Persinger. With a much-needed break coming to students and teachers, reporter Ashton Hackman recently sat down with Dr. Ginder.
You'll hear some of the things Dr. Ginder was proud of during first semester and to not lose focus during these last few finals. Ashton?
As the snow begins to fall and temperatures begin to drop, it's evident that the end of the semester is near. Principal Dr. Ginder reflects back on a triumphant fall sports season and a successful academic period.
Winning's exciting, isn't it? It's fun to be in the mix for championships, and it's fun to be in the championship race for regionals, semi-state, and state. And I think that ought to be our goal. I'm going to be perfectly honest. We ought to be looking at regionals as our goal. So it was a blast to see our kids have great years in tennis, golf, both soccer teams and football, cross country going to state and running great down there. It was a lot of fun.
Despite the successful athletic season, it's important to understand that academics are the key to education, and final exams is the last bump in the semester.
I think academically, our kids need to be aware that what really matters to us is their individual performance. You know, the state measures all kinds of stuff. And those things are important to our community, but you know what really matters to us is what each one of you learn and take away from each semester. So my admonition to you would be, let's take our finals seriously so that we can do the best we possibly can numerically, and then let's move on.
With just a few finals remaining, Dr. Ginder stresses the importance of putting in full effort on every final exam.
Final exams can be a real challenge for students who are new to Homestead High School, our younger students, or kids that think whatever class they're in is going to be a blow-off or easy. My admonition to everybody is take your finals seriously. Do the math. Obviously, some of you are really in classes where you're dominating and you don't have to work too hard. But that final exam might be the one that takes you to the cleaners if you don't prepare for it. So you need to be making sure that you're working with your teachers, with your peers. There's nothing wrong with studying together. To put yourself in a position to be successful. But I will tell you, our teachers put together a final that's designed to measure what you know and can do. And those aren't blow-offs.
Good luck on your remaining final exams and enjoy your much-deserved winter break. For HHS In Depth, I'm Ashton Ackman.
Lost and found items are located on the tables outside of the discipline office in the 1012 building. See Miss Godfrey in discipline for valuable items such as jewelry, keys, electronics, and designer clothes. All items not picked up by the end of the school day tomorrow will be donated.
Do you like to travel? If so, then the Grand Tour of Italy is for you. While in Italy, you will be going to Venice and riding on a gondola, visiting museums in Milan, seeing the ruins of Pompeii, visiting the beaches of Sorrento, and of course, eating all the good Italian food. If you would like more information about how you can go, stop by room 204 or 208 during the school day, or email Mrs. B or Mrs. Ricker. Remember, there is a $200 discount if you sign up by the end of the month.
Intramural basketball season runs January 13th through the first week of March, and games are played weekdays after school at the Jorgensen Y. The cost is $35 per person, and each player will receive a shirt. Team packets can be picked up in the discipline office and are due back today.
Attention shoppers! The Spartan Spirit store, located by the auxiliary gym, will be open during special holiday hours. They have a wide variety of Spartan swag and merchandise for everyone on your shopping list, plus convenient shopping times. This week, they'll be open tomorrow after early dismissal until 1 p.m. In addition, they will have evening hours tomorrow during the basketball games until 8:30 p.m. If you can't make the game, no problem. They will be set up before the ticket table at door 7, so stop on by. Cash, checks, and credit cards are accepted.
And now here's a story over Homestead's cell phone policies and the violations for breaking those rules. Here's reporter Roland McMillan with the story.
Many Spartans here at Homestead tend to have a cellular device of some kind. While many students rely on their cell phones, some students decide not to obey the cell phone policies here at Homestead. And this semester was no different.
The cell phone definition for a cell phone violation here at Homestead is anytime after 7:45 a.m. through 2:35 p.m. if a student is to get their cell phone out, to use it, or if it is to ring during class, vibrate, if the phone goes off, or if it's seen, that's a cell phone violation.
With the semester heading to its conclusion, school administrators have noticed some unexpected changes that were both record-breaking and concerning.
Well, the one thing I think that we did not discuss was how many times do we have events of a cell phone violation that escalate even further because a student doesn't want to turn it over to the teacher, they don't want to turn it over to the administrator. And this year in particular, those numbers are record high in that we have numbers of students that are serving out-of-school suspensions because they refuse to turn over the phone to the administrator.
With the holidays right around the corner, here's some tips to make sure you can keep your phone over holiday vacation, since the school can take your phone if you violate Homestead policies on the final day.
In particular, I think if the students can challenge themselves to turn it off once 7:45 hits, then they don't try to access it near as often as if they put it on vibrate throughout the day.
Other ways include double checking to make sure it's completely turned off and not just silenced, putting it in your backpack, or even in your student-issued locker. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Roland McMillan.
Have you heard of the Civil Air Patrol, Fort Wayne's mini Air Force? Here's reporter Mackenzie Butts with a story on how a few Homestead students are learning about the military while still in high school.
The Air Force Auxiliary, or the Civil Air Patrol, is an organization for the nation's defense system that students here at Homestead can participate in. This program can be especially helpful for students who wish to enter a career path in the military.
Civil Air Patrol is basically a miniature Air Force, and we learn aerospace education, cadet programs, and we do emergency services. And within cadet programs, we learn a lot of leadership and drill. In emergency services, we do search and rescue. So if someone's missing, sometimes we search for them. Like an aircraft goes down, we search for that if it's like in Indianapolis or anything near us. And for aerospace education, we learn anything aerospace, and it also includes flying.
There are many benefits in being involved with the Civil Air Patrol, such as higher ranks and prestigious awards given to hardworking cadets.
The main ones are promotions, just ranking up, just to get higher in, I guess, the hierarchy, that's what I would say. Another accomplishment would just get a bunch of leadership awards or aerospace awards. I got a $200 scholarship to any leadership academy, and if they want to get their pilot's license, they could also get that too within the Civil Air Patrol program.
Even if you don't have an interest in the military, the Civil Air Patrol offers other aids in Air Force and leadership.
Students can just go to the meeting, see what it's like. If they're interested in flying, go to it. If they're interested in improving leadership, I definitely recommend going into it. Or if they don't know if they want to go into the military at all, it's kind of like a mock military thing, so if they want something closest to the military, then I'd recommend going.
If you are interested in becoming a part of the Civil Air Patrol, you can attend their meetings at the Concordia Theological Seminary every Monday evening from 6:30 to 9 p.m. For HHS In Depth, I'm Mackenzie Butts.
When we come back, you'll get caught up with the scores from all the basketball games last week.
And a look at the busy weekend for Spartan athletics. Sports is next.
Tomorrow night, it's another SAC doubleheader. Finals week wraps up with back-to-back games at home. After shutting down Dwenger last Friday, the Lady Spartans are hoping to show Lures just what this team is capable of. And after a win against New Haven last Saturday, the boys are ready to continue that winning streak by defeating the Knights. The girls game at 6 and boys to follow. Live on the Point 91 FM and on YouTube at Homestead High School Media.
You're watching The Locker Report with Sports Director Ashton Hackman and Sports Reporter Caleb Wood. Your source for Spartan athletics.
The end of the semester may be just a day away, but Homestead basketball is not slowing down. Sports reporter Caleb Wood joins us with a recap of the SAC doubleheader against Bishop Dwenger last weekend.
All right, thank you, Ashton. Both girls and boys teams traveled up to Bishop Dwenger last Friday to play the Saints. Filling in for Coach Parker, assistant coach Kara Ankenbrook led the girls to an SAC victory against Bishop Dwenger. Starting off the game with a 3 by Riley Parker, who would lead the Spartans for the most points, 20 by the end of the night. Then Cindy Graber with the layup, who would get 20 points on the night. Sullivan to Parker for a 3. The girls' defense completely shutting out Dwenger in the second quarter. Later on, Graber with the layup, and it's good, as the girls take the win over the Saints 61-15. Shortly after, the boys' game tipped off against Bishop Dwenger, starting with the layup by 6'4" Grant Simmons. Simmons to Jake Archbold for the layup. Then Archbold to Simmons. Kruger shoots a 3 and in, putting up a total of 18 points on the night. Junior Luke Goody close behind with 15 points for the Spartans as Homestead wins the final score 61-46. They are now 4-1 on the season and still remain undefeated in the SAC. Ashton, back to you.
All right, thank you, Caleb. And fresh off that Friday night win, the boys were in action at home against the New Haven Bulldogs. Grant Simmons getting this team rolling, draining 3 after 3. He'd have an awesome night with a career high of 20 points. Then it was Patrick Rodenbush with this 3, and the Homestead offense was dominating. Luke Goody putting up a 3. He'd have 14 points total on the night as Homestead would pull away with the win 75-59, your final. Finals week gets wrapped up with the basketball games at home. It's another SAC doubleheader as Bishop Luer Knights enter Spartan Arena. Girls start at 6 and boys are to follow. Both games will be broadcast on the Point 91 FM and on YouTube at Homestead High School Media. And basketball isn't the only sport in action over the holiday weekend. Both swim and dive teams are competing at Hamilton Southeastern. That begins at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And Drew and Jenna, when we come back for the winter break, we relaunch our team profile series covering all of the winter sports. So the semester may be over, but athletics is not coming down.
And that will do it for this edition of HHS In Depth. I'm Jenna Lane.
And I'm Drew Persinger. Thank you for watching today, and be sure to follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes looks at the show.
You can also watch past episodes on YouTube at Homestead High School Media.
Good luck on your last final today and 4th and 7th period finals tomorrow.
For all of us here at HHS In Depth, have a great weekend and a happy and restful winter break. We'll see you back here in January.